Hey guys, Pretzelman945 here. Welcome back to another video. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Had to get my handy dandy notebook with my list in it because I couldn't quite remember the one. Today, this is probably going to be a multi-part video if I'm completely honest. But today we are doing top 20 favorite TV shows because I've watched so many good shows since I last made one of these lists, which was a very long time ago, that I honestly just wanted to do the full top 20 because I didn't want to waste any of them. So at number 20, starting very strong here, we have the original Dragon Ball. Um, so this show is fantastic in a simple word. It is such a creative origin story, and even though the animation does look kind of dated nowadays, for the mid to late 80s, which yes is when it first came out, it looks really really good. Um, I had no idea it was even that far back. It's like older than Pokemon, which I thought was very shocking. Um, but um, it still looks very nice, to be honest. If even if a few things are a little rough around the edges. So to be honest, when I was getting into this, um, I didn't expect how wacky. And what I mean by that is there are like pretty much within the first couple episodes, it immediately establishes that this world is in no way even remotely logical or human at all, for that matter, because there are literally like talking dinosaurs within the first within the second episode, I think. Um, So right away, like what I appreciate about this show is it very clearly establishes a tone and a precedent and it stays with that, which creates a level of consistency that is very, very much noticeable um and appreciated. Um however, um I think the singular best thing about every single Dragon Ball series, be that this one, Z, or Super, whichever, all on this list. Um, they all it's incredible to me how much Dragon Ball, more than any other show or series I've ever seen, Matt has completely mastered its sense of scale. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Within this show alone, we start with a kind of like local bad guy that wants to be like emperor of the whole world, and Emperor Pilaf, who's big bad guy. He has some servants and a castle and all this and grand ambitions and whatnot. Sure, he's not amazing. Like that saga is not particularly memorable, except for Goku turning into a great ape for the first time. Um, but it's a decent, like, quaint way to start out the show. And then when we get to beyond that, then we get to like the next major one is the first tournament arc. And um at this point we kind of see like, oh wow, this is okay, this is of the entire world. This is quite big. Except within this same vein, it is incredible to me how it manages to play on the fact that it knows that it's very wacky. And it plays on this by within the Tenkaichi tournament, the first one, it introduces all sorts of like wacky, insane looking fighters, from like the super muscular ones to like one guy that's literally a human wolf. I think his name was Manwolf or something like that. Um, and the level of creativity that they use with these fighters, even if they're only on screen very briefly, I think is super, super well done. Um, and and then when you get past that arc, which is fantastic, um, like all the tournament arcs are easily the best in this show, um, without a doubt. Um, the Red Ribbon Army one is next, and it was okay. But like once again, going back to the sense of scale thing, now we're talking about the most formidable army in the world that like police forces and other like units of like peacekeeping have trouble stopping, which I think is such an interesting you know it's a massive difference but in a way that makes sense. And that is like the key thing I'm referring to here. Like the way that they manage to use this in extremely logical ways never ceases to amaze me. And it's done so well. It's easily the best part of Dragon Ball storytelling. Um, anyway, I'm kind of rambling a lot here, so I'm gonna kind of get to the characters mostly. Um, the main characters, Goku makes for an extremely entertaining protagonist, um and to be honest, they did such a good job writing Goku because you honestly always want to follow Goku and you want to watch him succeed, which I think is easily a very strong part of Goku's character, personally. Um, next major character, Master Roshi. Master Roshi is like absolutely hilarious. Like he can be so funny, and him and his character is absolutely hilarious. Yamcha and Puar are definitely on the simpler side, but they're definitely interesting. Watching Yamcha become not a rogue is kind of interesting development and how he slowly becomes friends with Goku and just seeing like how good natured Goku is. I'm gonna be straight with you. Bulma's annoying. I don't like Bulma very much. Across any of the series necessarily, except for Super. She's funny in Super, but beyond that, like she's just annoying, honestly. Um, next one is Tien. Um, Tien, I think Tien's character, I think, is very interesting. Like a simple concept, but like one that really works very well. And like his model of character for constantly wanting to be stronger, I think, is like super interesting, very unique, and it's super creative and like it's creative and it works. It's like it's simple, but it works. Um, the King Piccolo saga is like easily like they really hit some gold there, I feel like. In a way that's better than everything until you get to like the Frieza arc of Dragon Ball Z, the Frieza saga of Dragon Ball Z. Like before that, the King Piccolo stuff, that's like that is like the best stuff. And once again, coming back to the mystery of skill, we go from this large middle army that Goku wiped out like it was nothing, um, to this ancient demon that could possibly be ever otherworldly that has like there's been legends about it for hundreds of years, which is like such an epic upgrade in concept. And um and like and like he King Piccolo as a villain is everything he's built up to be. Like they build him up and his power level and everything is like perfect like representation of that. And we actually get a little glimpse into what happens like when a villain actually succeeds because despite the hero's best efforts, he actually does manage to succeed in, you know, um, becoming useful and destroying the Dragon Balls. And obviously, they managed to succeed by like getting Kami to restore his faith in humanity. Um, Another great character, by the way. Um, so yeah. Um, oh my God, this is only the first entry, and I've already rambled for 10.5 minutes. Um, I just have a lot of things to say about this show because I really, really enjoy it. And then Piccolo Jr. himself, absolutely fantastic character as well. Um, that like makes for a very formidable rival to Goku. Um, I honestly I could make an entire like long ass video about like all the specific aspects, but as it stands, this is a top 20 list, so I probably need to get this moving. At number 19 is my favorite Pokemon show, Pokemon Black and White. Um, I did like XYZ, but not as good as Black and White. Um, for me, I for me, what it boils down to is I think that the Unova region in Black and White has the best Pokemon of any series. Um, and I just think that like it's very like all the Pokemon designs are very unique and none of them necessarily feel like, you know, overused or anything like or recycled or anything like that. And I definitely think it's the best suited in terms of like the unique quality of the Pokemon designs. Um, it's also my favorite in terms of like the plot, like and the lore behind it. Everything that happens with like Meloetta and like um Tornadus and Thunderous and whatever the fate name of the third one is, I forget. Um, all of those Pokemon are incredibly unique, and so is the trio of Curium, Zekrom, and Reshiram. In fact, Curium is one of, if not my favorite all-time Pokemon, in general, and definitely my favorite legendary Pokemon. Um, because like there's so many unique ideas that they tamper with here, and like they use Tornadus and those three and Meloetta, which is probably another one of my favorite Pokemon too, in just such unique and interesting ways to further the plot. And also I feel like the gyms in this series are the most like uniquely styled for their particular types. Um, in particular highlights to the poison gym and the earth and the ground type gym. Those two were my favorite ones to watch in this series. And also Ash, like his combination of Pokemon in this show is definitely my favorite. And his companions, I think, are the ones I like the best in this show. Um, So yeah, kind of simply, at least it's a lot shorter than Dragon Ball. But yeah, this show also has a lot of sentimental value to me. It's the first Pokemon show I ever watched. Um, and so yeah, I love this show. It's fantastic. Getting an even shorter segment, Jeopardy! My favorite game show. I just find it ridiculously entertaining. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. That's pretty much all I have to say about Jeopardy. I love it. And number 17 is The Queen's Gambit. Um, Now this show is very short, but what it does is it introduces a character and catalogs her journey to becoming the world chess champion. And obviously, I've loved chess since I was in fourth grade, so that little bit meant extra level to me because like I'm really into the chess. I'm not great at it, but I'm really into chess. And um just like kind of and the chess in this show is very, very entertaining and very well done. Um Obviously I could comment on as much about that because I'm not that good at chess. Um um But the acting by Anya Taylor-Joy, the main actor, is done really, really well. All the actors in this movie, in this TV show, are really good. The score is also really, really nice, and the pacing and kind of like the dark themes that it manages to deal with are very, very intense. I have a very in-depth review of this show. It's a little bit of an older video, but um it's like 37 minutes, and to be honest, it recounts my thoughts about the show a lot better than I probably am doing right now. But yeah, Queen's Gambit, fantastic show. Um at number 16 is another Netflix original show. It's one of like two historic, like in terms of like history themed shows on this list, and that is Medici. Um, and it literally is about exactly what it sounds like. And it is 3 seasons, and man, it's fantastic. Um, like within this show, like the amount of like emotion and drama that manages to create between the core set of characters is intense, and also like the politics play of it is also really interesting and very accurate to the time period when the Medicis were dominant in Italy during the Renaissance. Um, and like you see several familiar figures, which I also think is very interesting, like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. Um, they're like historical to the time period, and also like the people's interactions with the Medici's. I also think is very, very fascinating to play out, and it's very well written. But by far the best part of this show is the acting. Like, oh my word. The acting is honestly some of the best acting I've ever seen in any show. Every single character brings their like a triple plus game to their roles in this series. And it's honestly so amazing to be able to watch. Like in the first season, Dustin Hoffman's character incredible. And in the second season, Sean Bean gives one of the best performances, in my opinion, of any TV show I have ever seen. His character is absolutely amazing, and he makes for such a good antagonist in season 2 of this show. Um Another quick little note, like the music is also so undeservedly good in this show. It's very sweeping and grand, but at the same time kind of like intimate and emotional. Has a really good soundtrack, really nice cinematography, just all around like masterfully made show. We're at about 20 minutes there, so I'm gonna cap that at part one of this. I have no idea. This is probably going to be like like 3 or 4 parts if I'm being realistic with myself and the progress and how in depth I go with these sort of things. But like I feel like with TV shows, I feel like I tend to gush the most about it. Um, so for that reason, yeah, there's going to be a lot of these parts coming soon. So Yeah, look forward to that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.